It is the 6th of March 2014. Many thanks for joining us on Ebru African News this afternoon. I'm KAMENE GORO, and we start off our bulletin in Europe, where EU leaders are set to begin an emergency summit to decide on how strongly they should respond to Russia's troop deployment in Ukraine's Crimea region. Now, some members, particularly from Eastern Europe, press for tough sanctions, but others, led by Germany, stress mediation as the way out of the crisis.
Help for Ukraine is on its way from the European Union in the form of financial assistance. European Commission President José Manuel Barroso.
The package combined could bring an overall support of at least 11 billion euros over the next couple of years from the European Union budget and European Union-based international financial institutions. It is a package designed to assist a committed, inclusive and reforms-oriented Ukrainian government.
The announcement came at a meeting of European commissioners in Brussels ahead of a leaders' emergency summit there on Thursday, and just a day after the US offered $1 billion in loan guarantees and to send technical experts to Ukraine to advise the central bank and finance ministry. Ukraine's new administration says it needs $35 billion to stay afloat, though the EU says its short-term needs are much less. It's close to bankruptcy due to economic mismanagement, high energy costs and currency turmoil. The West has been stepping up efforts to persuade Moscow to pull its forces from the Ukrainian Crimean Peninsula, but an agreement on coordinated sanctions still appears unlikely. IG's Brenda Kelly.
I think what is really clear is that while the US seem determined to impose trade sanctions, they're not necessarily getting a bilateral agreement in relation to the Eurozone. Obviously, Germany would be the main conduit there between Russia and the US. And of course, Angela Merkel would not want to sour relations because the alternatives that the Eurozone have in terms of energy supply are limited, whereas in fact in the US they wouldn't have the same problem. So from that perspective, it does seem that the US are maybe on their own.
The aid package would in part depend on Ukraine signing a deal with the IMF. The EU also plans to bring forward trade benefits Ukraine would have received if it had signed an association deal with the EU last year.
Zooming in on Kenya, the more than 100 taxis impounded for violating traffic laws during the Matatu strike yesterday are still parked at the KICC. Now, Nairobi County Traffic Commander Edward Mwamburi said the drivers would be charged with obstruction, which attracts a fine of 50,000 shillings, alternatively up to 1 year in jail. Inspector General of Police David Kimayo had ordered the police to impound all the vehicles that blocked the roads. Kimayo also directed the police to remove all the number plates of the impounded vehicles and hand them over to the Ministry of Transport. Transport Cabinet Secretary Engineer Michael Kamau said that vehicles involved in the demonstrations will have their registration numbers withdrawn since no one is allowed to cause chaos under the pretext of seeking justice. Now, Kamau's warning came as the National Transport and Safety Authority called for further discussions between the county government of Nairobi and the operators to find an amicable way of addressing the problem. Talks aimed at ending a 6-week-long miners' strike in South Africa have been suspended indefinitely after producers rejected a revised wage demand. Now, the collapse dealt a fresh blow to investor confidence in Africa's biggest economy.
Wage talks between the world's top platinum producers and South Africa's Association of Mine Workers and Construction Workers Union, the AMCU, collapsed on Wednesday, dashing hopes for an early end to a crippling 6-week strike. The stoppage in a sector still raw from a series of violent strikes in 2012 has hit over 40% of global production of the precious metal used for immersion caping catalytic converters in automobiles. Employees have lost over 3 billion rand and counting in earnings lost to the strike, while the cost to the companies so far is 7 billion rand in revenue, according to a timeline updated almost every second on the Chamber of Mines website. Both the AMCU and company sources have said that many of the striking workers who hail from the rural areas in East Cape Town province, hundreds of kilometers from the platinum mines, have returned home to wait for the stoppage. The AMCU officials were not immediately available for comment.
The fourth day of the murder trial of South African Paralympian star Oscar Pistorius is to open in Pretoria. Now, the double amputee is accused of intentionally killing his girlfriend Reva Steenkamp in February of 2013.
As crowds surround Blade Runner Oscar Pistorius on his way out of court Wednesday, news of Day 3's testimony quickly spreads. Pistorius, who is charged with murdering girlfriend Reva Steenkamp in February 2013, told a friend to take the blame for a separate firearms incident a month earlier, according to testimony. Here's boxer Kevin Lorena, who was with Pistorius in January 2013 when a pistol was accidentally fired at a Johannesburg restaurant.
I don't know what happened, how the gun went off, but he did apologize and say, "I'm so sorry, it was a mistake. Are you okay? Is everybody okay?" I do remember Oscar saying, "Please," to Darren, just say it was you. I don't want any tension around me. Just say it was you. And then once that was said, the people from the restaurant came to the table, and then that's when Darren said it was him.
The prosecution is attempting to portray the South African Olympic and Paralympic track star as a gun-obsessed hothead. Pistorius has pleaded not guilty to the Steenkamp murder, saying it was a tragic error and he mistook her for an intruder. He also pleaded not guilty to the restaurant gun charge.
The trial of former al-Qaeda mastermind Osama bin Laden's son-in-law Suleiman Abu Ghaith started in New York, with the prosecutor telling jurors that he was ordered by his father-in-law to deliver al-Qaeda's murderous decree to the entire world. Now, here are the details of the trial of a man accused of recruiting and inciting potential terrorists to launch attacks.
Opening statements begin in the trial of the man known as Suleiman Abu Ghaith, the son-in-law of former al-Qaeda mastermind Osama bin Laden. Ghaith faces multiple terrorism charges, including conspiracy to kill Americans. Prosecutors have accused Ghaith of being the spokesman for al-Qaeda after the September 11th attacks. Outside the Manhattan courtroom, defense attorney Stanley Cohen spoke on Ghaith's behalf.
Our client has pleaded not guilty. I'm not a member of any conspiracy. I engaged in no illegal activity, and now it's up to government to prove it. I got to tell you, I've been in some places at 3 o'clock in the morning hanging with some people. God forbid if I was on video, I'd be in trouble the next day.
Cohen says his client is holding up.
He's a strong man, and he has a value system and a belief system that'll get him through this.
If convicted, Ghaith faces life in prison.
Venezuela marked the first anniversary of Hugo Chávez's death with a blend of solemn ceremonies, clashes, and a break in relations with Panama over protests dogging his successor's presidency. Now, President Nicolas Maduro made the decision after Panama requested a meeting at the Organization of American States to discuss Venezuela's crisis.
At the Montaña military base overlooking Caracas, Venezuelans are lining up to honor their fallen comrade, Hugo Chávez.
The arrival of this extraordinary man is a source of pride for everyone around the world, and today at the Montaña military base we have reached 1 year since his death, and we are all very sad because of the loss of this great man, Commander Hugo Chávez.
Chávez died 1 year ago, and the country is marking the anniversary with a military parade and honors. Earlier in the day, Cuba's President Raúl Castro arrived to participate in the ceremonies. The brother of Chávez's mentor, Fidel Castro, Raúl paid tribute with a white rose on Chávez's tomb. Late Tuesday night, President Nicolas Maduro met Bolivian President Evo Morales at the airport, where he called on Venezuelans to honor Chávez in peace.
There will not be any small groups filled with hate to upset the tranquility and the peace of the immense and absolute majority of the Venezuelans.
A Chávez heir, Maduro has been unable to stop weeks of ongoing protests and fix the country's many problems.
Talking matters education, schools that performed well in last year's KCSE continue to celebrate their performance. The Light Academy in Nairobi emerged number 8 nationally in the private school category, while its sister school in the coastal region was number 1 in the entire Mombasa County.
Now it is the moment to call our heroes. Can you kindly, all of you, come here, please?
Teachers attributed the performance to hard work, discipline and determination. Now, 8 of the 26 students who sat the KCSE exam last year scored a mean grade of A, while the rest scored B. Now, Mombasa's Light Academy emerged the best school in the region with a mean score of 67.594. The top performers were honored at their former school yesterday. The generation that once invented Pac-Man now runs a home for the elderly, complete with video game booths. Yet another example of Japanese video game makers moving towards an older demographic.
An arcade game that attracts an unexpected type of gamer, the octogenarian. Every Tuesday afternoon, this group of friends gather for a bit of fun therapy in this health center in Yokohama. Misaya is 87 and a self-confessed gaming addict, needing her daily dose of crocodile panic.
It's a real mental workout, and it also makes you exercise physically. I play to avoid losing my mind.
University research suggests that playing certain games can increase the blood flow to the brain's frontal lobe and delay the onset of some cognitive disorders among the elderly. But most importantly, it's fun.
My score was really terrible. Bit by bit, by playing more, I get better. It makes you want to give your all to beat your own score.
These health centers are run by Namco Bandai, the creators of the legendary Pac-Man arcade game. The company also runs more classical gaming arcades in Japan, but is now staking its claim on the country's rapidly aging population.
Elderly people represent a significant new market for us. Especially so because the future generation of the elderly will have grown up with video games, and they'll be able to have fun while giving their brain or their bodies a workout.
Another giant of the gaming world, Nintendo, who created the Wii Fit, surprised the industry last January when they announced the move towards the health sector. It's not surprising that video game makers are turning to this growing market. By 2055, almost half of the population of Japan will be over 65.
That story wraps up our bulletin for you this afternoon. Join me at 9 p.m. for our primetime bulletin and a more in-depth analysis on what's happening in our world today. Many thanks for your absolutely scintillating company. I'm KAMENE GORO, and do have yourself a lovely afternoon.
Newline Limited, your one-stop shop for elegant and comfortable office furniture. Newline responds to your expectations for office furniture in a modern language. We offer a 5-year warranty period including unit transfers within Nairobi. For more information, visit our showroom at Chester House, Loiter Street, Nairobi. Newline Limited, your success partner.
Floma, professional makeup.
Does your exterior complement your interior? Everyone needs a home that is inspired by nature. At Yenbo Limited, we offer durable, energy-efficient and affordable UPVC windows in attractive colors. Visit us at Wall Street Business Park off Mombasa Road. Yenbo UPVC windows, your desire, our choice.
Newline Limited, we offer current, stylish, state-of-the-art kitchen and wardrobe appliances tailored to suit your preference. We offer unit transfers within Nairobi. Let your kitchen stand out today by visiting us at Chester House, Loiter Street. Your comfort and satisfaction comes first.
Floma, professional makeup.